So first you'll understand what is database. So a database is a collection of information that is organized so that it can easily be accessed, managed and updated. It is generally in the form of table with row and column. So we are organizing data in a relation format, in a table format, in row and column format, right? So database, or we can say versus DBMS, if you can see this example, database management system architecture. So if we're having some database, there's some functionality we are having. There's a transaction manager, disk space manager, SQL engine, recovery manager, and on the top of that there is a table, forms, report, query, data dictionary, schema. So there's a user interface function such as, okay, and user interact with this, in turn this guy interact with this and this guy interact with this, right? Okay, so the database holds the actual application specific records, fields, cell with data. The DBMS is the software tool used to manage the data of the database, right? And I can say DBMS are called database, which help us to create, manipulate, and administrate a database. DBMS are of various types like relational, object oriented. They differ from the perspective that how the data is logically organized in the database. So one of the relational database management system is MySQL. As I just now said to you, there's a list of RDMS available in the market, but we will be learning MySQL here. So Oracle and Sybase are few other example of RDMS system. Okay, leading RDMS systems like we are having Oracle. Oracle is the most popular relational database management system. It runs on both Unix and Windows. It used to be many times more expensive than SQL Server and DB2, but it has come down a lot in price. Initially, it was a very costly. Now, SQL Server is a Microsoft database, like it is developed by the Microsoft, and not surprisingly, it only runs on Windows. It has only a slight, uh, I can say, slightly higher market share than Oracle on Windows machine. Many people find it easier to use than Oracle, right? So the easy navigations and all these things are there because we are already habituated to work with the Windows platform. So we find easy to work with Microsoft SQL Server. There's a DB2 which is from the IBM, okay, and was one of the earliest player in the database market. It is still very commonly used on mainframes and runs on both Windows and Unix. Now MySQL, because of its small size, its speediness and its very good documentation, MySQL has quickly become the most popular open source database. Another open source database is the PostgreSQL. Until recently, PostgreSQL was the most popular open source database until that spot was taken over by MySQL. So PostgreSQL now calls itself the world's most advanced open source database software. Okay, so we have seen the some details on the database or RDBMS and different products. Now we'll look on the MySQL here. So in uh, like here we use MySQL. As I said, it is a world leading open source RDBMS. To start and stop the MySQL server, refer the instructions. So we are having that statement. I'll show you that one. So here is the detailed architecture given now. Okay. So see the architecture of your MySQL server. What exactly it is here? We are having some say connections and some of the ZDBC or DBC connections. Now we can have some applications that can be developed in different languages. And if they want to interact with your MySQL server, even maybe MySQL client also, right? So that client get the connections and fire the query. So once firing the query will come to here first, means there is a two tier here, upper tier and lower tier now. So in the upper tier we are having some SQL parser which will parse your uh, query whatever you have fired, and it will optimize your query. So and finally that will be get interacted by this engine. So there's a multiple kind of engines we are having. By default it is a MyISM. If that defaults engines we can change it, there's a way to change. So MyISM is a default if you're not doing and creating table. It is not transactionable. If you're using this engine, your table will not work foreign key properly. It is not supporting transactions. You cannot do commit rollback. But if you're organizing your data with MyISM, it is very fast. Now if you're using InnoDB, this InnoDB is used when ever you want like your foreign key primary key will work properly and it will have some transactions also, then in that case you can use InnoDB. Okay, next is the NDB. It is used for the some of the like clustering concept. Next I'll just tell you the few here. Federated means, let us say you're having one table in a different servers and that you want to bring it in your server and use it like that it is your table, right? So it is a federated. Memory, it will create a temporary table. So once you are restarting your server, that will go. And these engines will finally interact with your file system with the machine. So this is a whole architecture of MySQL server. Even there's some caching and buffering concept optimizer as I said here. So this caching and buffering will help you to maintain query cache and buffer for your query executions. Okay, so now we'll see this one here. Next we have to understand what is the history and what is RDBMS, rows and column tables. So let us understand this now. First of all, history of SQL and relational database. As I said, there is a one person name is a EF Cod. In 1970 he has given a one concept of relational data model. So a relational model of data for large shared data banks, an article that outline a model for storing and manipulating data using tables. We are having different models also. There is a, I can say one thing to you, that the data model is again defined, categorized into two: object based model and relational or logical based model, I can say. So in the object based logical model, there's a like ER diagram. Consider you're having in ER diagram, what we do, we just make a diagram, we just make a design of our database, right? But it never say how to retrieve it. But if we talk about the record based logical model, I mean there's a two logical model: object based logical model, record based logical model. So in the record based logical model, we have a one relational data model, hierarchical data model, and network data model. So among all these, relational data model was more popular, and that is given by the EF Code. He has introduced the 12 rules here. So that is famous from the 12 rules of code. And IBM has started to work on that. Now there's one SQL, structured query language. So in 1986, the American National Standard Institute standardized SQL. This standard was updated in 1989. In 1982, called SQL 2, and again in 1989 called SQL 3. So SQL is the language for manipulating data inside database. More on this later. If you remember, we have listed a list of different arguments like Sybase, Informix, DB2. All they are using what? They are using SQL language. So you don't confuse the SQL language and MySQL. MySQL is a product, right? SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server is a product. Oracle is a product. Okay. Informix is a product from different vendors, right? But they all using what language? All they are using SQL language. That will help to manipulate data in our database. So that is what structured query language, and is also called SQL, or I can say SQL. Okay. Standard SQL is sometimes called ANSI SQL or SQL 92. So all major relational database support this standard, but each has its own proprietary extension unless otherwise noted. The SQL taught in this course is the standard ANSI SQL. Okay. Now RDBMS, relational database, or relational database at its simplest is the set of tables used for storing data. Each table has a unique name and may relate to one or more other tables in the database through common values. A relational database must support a rule of EF code. So look at here in database what we do. We generally create tables and all. We do relationship. There's a data types for our columns, and there is some key and index which we create for making our data retrieval faster. Procedure and triggers which automate some work, which enhance performance, and we'll see how we fire SQL statement here now. Rows and column. So the row is defined in the relational model as a tuple that is constructed over a given table. So whenever you are making a table and that table is having some records and all, so look at one example here. Consider you are having this table. This table name is consider I have a table name imply. Okay. Now it is having three column. Okay. It is a EMP. Say it is imply ID. I just write in here imply ID. Okay. I just write like this. And this is what we are having EMP name, and this is a salary. So this is just a heading, right? This is my heading here, column name. Record is here. These are the records. So consider I have employee ID 1, name is X, salary is 5. 2, by salary is 99. 3, name is Z, 105. 4, P, and 6 something. Okay. So what I can say, this record is called row, or also what, tuple. Okay. So how many tuples in this? 4. Don't count this one, right? This is a heading. So tuple, or we can say row, is called tuple. That is the formal name of row is the what? Tuple. Now next is attribute. These are called attribute. These are called attribute. These are called attributes. So 3 attributes are there, right? Okay. The whole table is name is what? EMP. So we can say table. Also we can say it is called relation. So the formal name of table is what? Relation. Formal name of row is what? Tuple. Formal name of column is what? Attribute, right? So a database table is simply a collection of 0 or more rows. This follows from the relational model. Okay. And the tuples whatever we are having, that may be varying. So the name relational model comes from the relation being the central object in this model. Tables are also known as a schema. So we can say tables, a schema, relation, all these are same term here. Okay. How many rows here? There's a 4 rows, right? So what is 4? This is called cardinality. There's one term for here, cardinality. Okay. Total number of rows is called cardinality. Total number of column is called what? Degree. Anyone can ask what is the degree of this table? So you just count the number of column. It is 3, so 3. What is the cardinality of this table? So just count the number of rows. So total number is a 4, so we can say it is a 4 rows. Okay. So I hope you understood this now. Uh, so some important informations about the relation, I mean table. Each tuple row is unique. There are no duplicates. Tuples rows are unordered. We can display them in any way we like and the meaning does not change here. So tuples rows may be included in a relational table set if they are constructed on the schema of that relation. They are excluded otherwise. Okay. We can define subset of the rows by specifying the criteria for including the subset. So that we have to write a query here. You can see this table here. I have a customer table. So customer relation I can say. A primary key I can make any of this column like customer first name, customer last name and customer phone. So these columns may be a primary key. If we want to make a phone as a primary key, we can make phone as a primary key here. Okay. Just let us have a look on this now. So how many records here we are having? 3 records, right? So tuples is 3. It means 3 tuples are there. So we can say coordinate is 3. How many columns? Here's the 5 columns. So degree is 5, right? This phone number should be unique for every customer. So we can make this customer phone primary key. If you want a customer first name or last name primary key, we can make any column as a primary key, but not 3 primary key. Could be 1 primary key only. Means in a table, 1 table, 1 primary key. Okay. So that we have to be careful. And columns is the attributes. C first name is attributes. C last name is attributes. So these are the attributes we are having here.